Okay, folks, moving on to 296. Inequalities, number line, interval notation. A, x is less than 2. Here's my number line. Here's 0. You put little ticks. If you have graph paper, that's cool. Whoops, x is less than negative 2. So negative 1, negative 2 is right there. And we want x values less than negative 2. So there's a couple ways you could do it. Some books will put an open circle and then shade everything to the left like that. See how this is pointing to the left, less than? It also looks like the word less, the letter L. Okay, or some books will put an open parenthesis like that. And the reason they do that is because it corresponds with the interval notation. So a parenthesis and an open circle are the same. And if we were to write this now in interval notation, we would say we've shaded everything all the way out here from negative infinity to negative 2. So we read from left to right, so make sure you put your answer in left to right. So from negative infinity all the way to negative 2. You see how the open circle is a parenthesis? Parenthesis. And because you can never touch the infinities, it would get a parenthesis. Had this been a closed circle, like you'll see in the next problem, we'd put in a bracket. So make sure your parentheses look like parentheses. Okay, part B, we have x is greater than or equal to negative 3.5. So you draw your little number line. I usually put 0 for the center. 1, 2, 3, negative. There's negative 4. So negative 3.5 is right between negative 3 and negative 4, and we want all values. See how this is pointing to the right? And it's greater than or equal to, so you put a solid dot, and you shade everything to the right, like so. Or 0, negative 3, negative 4. Or if you use bracket parenthesis notation, solid dots get a bracket. So you put a bracket there, and then you shade everything to the right. And then when you write it in interval notation, you'd say we go from negative 3.5, so left to right, negative 3.5 all the way to infinity. So negative 3.5 all the way, comma, to infinity. Little sideways 8 there. That's pretty ugly. We're actually touching the negative 3.5, solid dot bracket, so you put a bracket there, make it look brackety. And you can never touch the infinities. Parenthesis. Okay, so now I think we got the game. So part C should be easy. X less than or equal to 2/3. So I usually put a 0. Here's a 1. 2/3 is almost towards 1. It's that way, so I'm going to put a little bracket. Shade that way. What does our book do? Should I read the book before I start doing these problems? Let's see. Oh, okay, they did it that way. Cool. So I'm consistent with our book, by luck. So just maybe if you learned open circle, closed circle, just remember open circle is parenthesis, closed circle is bracket. Okay, so we got our bracket. You see how the arrow's pointing to the left? We go to the left. Make sure X is on the left, right? That's the only way the game works. X, see how it's pointing to the left, X, it's pointing to the right. So this goes from negative infinity all the way to 2/3. We're touching 2/3, bracket, you can never touch infinity, parenthesis. Ta-da! Okay, let's move to 300. Problem number 300. We'll do A and C. A and then C. So part A, it says negative 5 less than X less than 2. Okay, so I read it just from left to right, negative 5 less than X less than 2. But how we normally say it, when there's three things like that and X is in the middle, and these are both less than symbols, you say X is between negative 5 and 2. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. So here's 0. Negative 5 is way out there. 2 is at about right there. So it's not or equal to, so it's not brackets, it's parenthesis. And it's everything between. X is between. Okay. And so in interval notation, we'd say everything from -5 to 2, like that. Ta-da! Part B, oh no, we said C, so B is the same. C, 300C. 300C, was the page off the screen there? Hopefully not. Part C, we have 0 less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 1.5. So I would say x is between 0 and 1.5 inclusively. It's including the or equal to. Here's 0, here's 2, here's 1. 1.5 is sort of right here. So bracket there, bracket at 0, everything in between. So 0, comma, 1.5, bracket. Ta-da! So that's 300, A and C. B should have been easy. Okay, in the following exercise, solve each inequality and then write the solution. Okay, so they make us do a little bit of work, and then we have to graph it like this. Let's see if we have enough room here. Let us try 304A. It says A plus 3/4 is greater than or equal to 7/10. So we need to get A alone. So let's subtract 3/4, subtract 3/4. So A, the symbol stays the same. 7, this is the worst. A, 7/10 minus 3/4. Oh, my fractions. Okay. Anything reduced? No. Let's get a common denominator. You could just multiply them and get 40. Or, what's the smallest number they both go into? It's actually 20. How did 10 become 20? I multiplied by 2, so multiply that by 2. 2 times 7, 14. How did 4 become 20? Multiplied by 5, so multiply that by 5. So that's going to give us 14 minus 15 is -1 over 20. So A is greater than or equal to -1/20. Okay, if we put that on the number line, here's 0. -1/20 is about right here. And it's going to be pointing to the right. So put a little bracket, shade to the right. Maybe label it -1/20. And then how would we write that? -1/20 all the way to infinity. We're touching the -1/20, so bracket. Infinity you can't touch, so parenthesis. So here's our answer in interval notation, and here's a picture of our answer. Eventually we're just going to put the answer in interval notation. They kind of have you graph it like this so that you're comfortable going to interval notation, but eventually we're going to quit doing this and just go straight to this. Okay. What's a good one? I'm going to jump down to 308. All over the place. So I'm just looking at the homework. They look pretty manageable. And then at 308, I see a new idea. So 308, it says -5u greater than or equal to 65. Okay, so let's just get the u alone. Divide by -5, divide by -5. And then, if you read the chapter, which I know you did, if ever you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you have to switch the inequality. So I'm dividing both sides by -5. I'm dividing both sides by a negative. Switch the inequality. Oh, okay. Good thing I read the chapter. 65 divided by 5. Negative sign, so -13. Okay, so here's 0. Let me start that again. Here's 0, -13, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Start that again. Here's 0. Here's -13. We want all values pointing. See how this is the arrow pointing to the left? So, and it's bracket, so bracket, and then pointing to the left. Aha. And then so write our answer now in interval notation. So going from left to right, from negative infinity to negative 13. From negative infinity to negative 13. Inclusive on the negative 13. And you can never touch the infinity, so non-inclusive parenthesis. Aha! Okay, so that's basically the game, and then they just try and complicate it. 318. So we understand the game, and then they're like, okay, well, let's just put a bunch more letters. Fine. (6h minus 4h minus 1 less than or equal to 7h minus 11. 6h minus 4, h minus 1. Okay, so let me distribute right here. So that's a 6h minus 4h. Ooh, minus minus plus 7h minus 11. A 6h and a 4h minus 4h is a 2h. Okay, oh, this is a good one. Let's see, because watch what I do. I'm just kind of pretending that's an equal sign, right? So let me, I know a lot of you like just bringing everything to the left. Watch if because I don't like negative numbers. So what if I bring the h's to the right? Just go with it. Minus 2h, minus 2h. So then I need to get rid of that 11, so plus 11, plus 11. So now I have 5h, and then over here a 15. Okay, so if you had done it the other way, you still get the correct answer. But notice the h's, the variables on the right, we're so used to having them on the left side. So here's what I do. I get a spatula and I flip it over. You see how this, I was taught that this is a little alligator. So imagine it's an alligator. It's got teeth. You see how the alligator's eating the 5h? Arr, arr, arr. So if you flip it over, so here's the 5h on this side, here's the 15 on this side. The alligator is eating the 5h, so the alligator still needs to be eating the 5h. That's how I do it in my mind. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, keep going. Get h alone. Divide by 5, divide by 5. H less than or equal to 3. Draw a picture. Here's 0, here's 3. Bracket, it's pointing to the right. Bracket, pointing to the right. Interval notation, so from 3 to infinity. Infinities you never touch. Parenthesis, 3 included. Bracket. Ta-da! Okay, so that one wasn't so bad. 318. Those are all the same. And then they just do a word problem. So basically, we should be able to handle it. They're just doing everything we did with equal signs, but now with inequalities. So 338, 3 more than h is no less than 25. Is no less than 25. Oh my God. 3 more than h. 3 more than h is no less than 25. Is no less than 25. It's not less than 25, it's greater than. Who writes these? 3 more than h is no less than 25. If you're not less than it, oh, then you're greater than or equal to it. If you're not less. So the opposite of less, not no less, not less, greater than or equal to. Wow, OMG. Okay, so basically, you're probably going to have to read it a few times. You see how that took me a bunch of times, and then, yeah. 3 more than h, okay, is no less than 25. Is no less. Oh, so if it's not less, then it must be greater than or equal to. Whew. Okay, get h alone. So that was the hard part of the problem. Now we're on easy street. Get h alone. H greater than or equal to 22. Here's 0. Here's 22. It's pointing to the right. It's included. Bracket. That. Rewrite it as 22, comma, infinity. Bracket. Parenthesis. Oh my. Okay. Then they get some word problems. Okay. Let's just try 358. Let's hope it goes well. Should I read the problems before I start doing them? Maybe. 358. Mullins TV plan. Okay, TV plan, I get this. $4.99 a month plus $5.49 for the first run movie. How many first run movies can he watch if he wants to keep his monthly bill to be a maximum of 100? So he'll spend. So he wants to keep how much he spends less than or equal to $100. Okay. How many movies can he watch? So $49.99 per month plus the movies are $5.49. So and so it's $5.49, and he's planning on watching M number of movies. So the $49.99 plus how many $5.49 he rents all needs to be less than or equal to $100. Okay. So you can solve that, no problem. Yay! Okay, keep going. And then I have 2.6 and 2.7 still? Oh my lordy, 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 lordy. Okay, we'll pause and then I'll keep going.